William Hill sponsors Whyte vs Parker on Sky Sports Box Office.
Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out and Sportsbet TV, here with Adam Smith, head of boxing for Sky Sports. Adam, we're here at the open workout for Dillian Whyte against Joseph Parker. I believe you've come back from holiday especially for the occasion. You must be excited about this fight to do that.
Really excited ever since Eddie told me that it was a possibility, and I think that Joseph Parker was going to fight Brian Jennings, and I think Dillian was, they were working on the Kubrat Pulev fight, and suddenly there was, as we know in boxing, Danny, the unpredictability, the spins, and they make this one. And I think it's a fantastic matchup. I really do. I think it's a genuine fight. I think it's a really important fight for the pair of them. I think there's a lot of ways of looking at it, and what's definitive is that there's no way anyone could predict the outcome. Really, I think it's one of those. It's one where you think Parker 1 minute, then you think White, you think the age, you think the performances of recent times, and then the momentum, the home advantage, the sort of revenge thing that Parker's got in his mind after his performance down in Cardiff. So I did come off holiday, 2 days of it. I'll be going back after the event on Saturday. But I couldn't miss this. It's a really important one, and it's a fantastic card and a fantastic week ahead.
There's been a certain amount of people in the boxing fan sphere criticising this being, or at least questioning it being, a pay-per-view worthy show. We found out this morning that the O2 is sold out for this event. Does that kind of vindicate the decision to make it pay-per-view? It shows what an attraction it is?
So we just want to put on great fights. That's the most important thing from a Sky point of view. Sometimes you have to have box office events to make the money work. Look, it's not Anthony Joshua, it's not Hey Bellew, so maybe you don't have a star name like that. But what we do have is a fantastic fight in the heavyweight division. We've got a wonderful support in Derek Chisora and Carlos Takam. You've got Katie Taylor, who I believe is every bit as good as Anthony Joshua in her field. She's a unified world champion. You've got the Conor Benn rematch, you've got Joshua Buatsi, you've had Nick Webb and Dave Allen added to the bill. You've got Anthony Fowler. It's a really good night. It's a really good summer night, and I think it's going to be a great value for money show when it actually happens. But I can understand people thinking, is this worthy of the box office event mantle? I think we think very carefully before we make those decisions. We don't want to have too many in a calendar year. It's important to have a decent number of shows just on Sky Sports. But I think what you get with the box office experience is that you get the build-up shows, you get the razzmatazz on the night. And I think what we have here is a real 50-50 fight that no one can decipher a winner from. And it reminds me of a sort of Froch Kessler type box office event where we didn't know who'd win that one. So listen, it's all steam ahead, and everyone can enjoy it Saturday night.
I think one of the biggest issues around that question is that people have got different ideas of what defines a pay-per-view fight. I think some people would say it's big names, with big followings, and people are clamouring to see them. Others would say, they have to be competitive fights from top to bottom. From your point of view, as you're a decision maker at Sky Sports, what for you defines a pay-per-view or a Sky box office attraction?
Each one individually. I think that's the important thing to say. Anthony Joshua is obviously a Sky Sports box office fighter. He's selling out 90,000, 80,000 venues. He could fight you or me, and people will still want to see that. Well,
wouldn't last long, but yeah.
But do you know what I mean? He really could fight anyone in the heavyweight world. But he's got a great fight against Alexander Povetkin in the mandatory. It's a fantastic occasion. Of course, that's a box office event. Hey Bellew, you get a narrative, you get a story, and that often swings it for us. This one is a big fight in the heavyweight division. It's a big fight with a big card. So I think that makes it a Sky Sports box office event. Plus the fact, as you said, it's sold out at the O2. People want to see this. It's a really important one, and also Dillian Whyte has become bigger and bigger. He's very he has a lot of following. He's very big on SkySports.com. He rated really highly on Sky Sports, and to make these big fights, you need money, and Eddie needed to make that, and Sky Sports box office is where it's landed, and I think it's right, and I think it's going to be a fantastic night, and I think we'll be looking back at it saying that was a really good one.
And just finally, do you feel that Sky box office events have now become kind of taken on an aspirational quality for the fighters, so that the whole kind of Sky Sports Matchroom stable are clamouring to be, because they see that as an increase in their status if they get onto a pay-per-view event?
Of course, it's a way of making money.
Well, yeah, that too.
All fighters are here to make money, and they all want to top big nights, big events. I see Conor Benn just up there, and his dream is to become a box office fighter, as is Joshua Buatsi. They've been on the bills, so they want to headline one day. There will be life after Anthony Joshua. There'll be life after the Tony Bellew saga sort of ends. Maybe he'll fight Usyk next, maybe he won't, and we're always looking for the young guns coming through. And 2019, 2020 will be very interesting to see where we are with the big fights and nights. But yeah, you need to have a bit about you. You need to have obviously the talent. You need to have stories. You need to have a following. And there's plenty of fighters out there that are getting a lot of these things. I think it's a really exciting period. But what we won't do is have box office events week in, week out. It's not fair on the customers. It's not fair on anybody. These are special nights. I see July the 28th is another one of those. September the 22nd, another one. If we go again in November, or when we next go with maybe a Tony Bellew or an Amir Khan or something like that, who knows? Khan could fight Brook, Khan could fight Pacquiao. They're massive pay-per-view nights.
Presumably, you mentioned Bellew. Presumably, Bellew against Usyk would qualify as another box office big event.
I think Tony Bellew's become a box office fighter. I mean, he's huge now. What he's done against David Haye, upsetting the odds. What he did at Goodison Park, that was a great night for Bellew. And he is there now. And I think obviously Usyk has just unified the cruiserweight division. He's won the World Series. You've got to be looking at a Sky Sports box office event for that one. But yeah, look, ultimately what we do is, whether it is box office or Sky Sports, or whether it's just a sort of a Facebook stream that we do, which we're doing on the press, the workouts today, and we do at some of the press conferences, and we do on the night of
some of the undercards as well.
Yeah, whatever it is, we want to try and give the best possible fights and the best possible coverage that we can. That's what we love doing. It doesn't really matter to us whether it is a box office night in quotes or whether it's a Sky Sports night. Every night gets treated the same. We want to give all of our customers the best possible experience, but there's no question that on a Sky Sports box office event there's an extra bit of stardust, and I think you'll see that on Saturday, Danny.
Brilliant. Thank you for your time, Adam, and I hope you enjoy your holiday when you're able to resume it.
William Hill sponsors Whyte vs Parker on Sky Sports Box Office.